Hello, this is Yaakov Kronenberg from Jerusalem, and tonight another class in the series of classes on Cancer ascendant and the moon, the ruling planet, and the different signs. Tonight we're going to be looking at the moon in Gemini. It's an interesting combination and not an easy combination by any means, because when the moon is in Gemini with Cancer rising, then you're going to have a situation where the ruling planet falls in the 12th house. And like we always say, you don't particularly like the ruling planet in the 12th house, because the ruling planet in the 12th house is the house of the secret enemies, the house of hospitalizations, imprisonment, solitude, and things like that. So it's not... there's always going to be a certain... let's put it this way, it's very good actually for spirituality. If a person actually can use it, people who use it well are the people who are very involved in like spiritual paths and spiritual journeys, because it connects them to their soul, and so they become people who go after a spiritual path. The spiritual path, of course, is going to hurt you in the worldly sense. So even in that, and looking at it in a worldly way, it's never the greatest. But as far as being spiritual, has tremendous ability to raise a person spiritually, having the ruling planet in the 12th house, and it's going to give a desire for the spiritual path. It's also, I've seen lots of people who, help, they have it too, just like the 6th and the 12th houses rule illnesses and hospitalizations, it also rules doctors and nurses that also are spending their time in hospitals and health institutions to help people. So it's also... everything has, I've seen tons of doctors that have strong 12th houses, strong 6th houses. I have a daughter, she's a nurse, and she has 4 planets in her 6th house, which, for example, gives a tendency towards, helping people, doctors and nurses. And, you see it in all people who work in institutions have it, strong 12. I've seen psychiatrists, people who work in psychiatric facilities. Even, I don't have any clients, but I've heard there's, like people that prison wardens and people who work in prisons. They also have strong 12 houses. So again, everything has to be looked at with a wise eye to try to find out what's how the person is using their combinations in the zodiac. So we're always trying to upgrade a person. If you see a person who's got a lot of planets in 12 and 6 or 6, so you try to get them to, instead of being sick, you try to get them to be doctors or nurses or health or work in health type of professions. And it can alter a lot of times it can alter their mazel, so you have to use your thing. But anyway, the moon, you have to use your good judgment to try to help a person to find their correct path. I've seen lots of writers that have the 12th house very strong, because they like to write, you need a certain solitude. It's good for professions, say, where the person likes solitude. But in any case, going back to the moon in Gemini. Moon in Gemini is a very fast moon. The moon is the fastest of the movements in the sky, and Gemini is the runner. So the moon is very fast. Person is very, very quick, very changeable. Is an excellent speaker and things like that, a good communicator, very gregarious, likes to talk a lot, all sorts of things like that, and so it's And so it's a little bit difficult, right? Because the Cancer is a homebody, basically. The Cancer ascendant is a homebody. When it's in Gemini, Gemini likes to be with people, likes to be outdoors with the neighbors. And 12th Gemini rules the third house, the neighborhood, and things like that. So the person is a little bit, he doesn't like to be at home so much. So it can be a little bit complicated. The Cancer is more silent. The Gemini likes to talk a lot. In any case, I want to do a chart tonight, interesting chart, talking about a person who can get himself in big trouble. We're going to talk about a man tonight. He ran for the President of the United States. His name is John Edwards, and he's known more now for... his wife had cancer. It was being treated with breast cancer. He was running for president. He was also having an affair with a young girl, and it sort of got him in trouble. It ruined his political career, and it sort of ruined his reputation too, if you like. And it had a great devastating effect probably on his future. The man is very brilliant. If you look at his chart, he's got a Cancer ascendant. He's got Mercury and Uranus, the two intellectual signs. Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. The two intellectual signs on the ascendant. Very bright man, excellent memory. Mercury in Cancer has a lot of times can have almost a photographic memory. And makes him a very good speaker, right? When you have Mercury on the ascendant, made him an excellent lawyer. He was like one of the best lawyers in the country. And a lawyer needs to talk. And you see he's got that Mercury and Uranus on the ascendant. And he's got 3 planets in the 12th house in Gemini, which also give themselves up to the ascendant. They give themselves up to the Mercury. But the Mercury is going to give themselves back to the Gemini. So he's got Mercury and Gemini in mutual reception, which makes him very, very loquacious, a tremendous speaker, tremendous ability to talk his way out of anything, and things like that. And I guess he believed too much in his ability to talk his way out of things, or to succeed through his talking. He's got Jupiter in Gemini, makes an excellent public speaker. Jupiter conjoined the Sun sometimes is not so great. It gives a person, because it's excellent in a general sense, but here he's got his Jupiter in detriment, and it gave him a tremendous self-confidence, almost to the point of I don't know what the word is in English. Too much pride, over proud, over believing in his own abilities, and leads to recklessness, not care. Person believes he's a lot better than everybody else, believes he can get away with anything, and this was the man. And so he's got all those planets. He's got in his chart, actually, I'm looking now, if you look at his chart, he's got actually 4 planets in Gemini. He's got a stellium in the house of self-destruction. And don't get me wrong, I've seen a lot of people have 4 planets in the 12th house, and it was excellent. I mean, my teacher learned astrology based on the book of a man in the Middle Ages named Maureen, who had 5 planets in the 12th house. It gave him a tremendous intuition, a tremendous ability to reveal hidden things. But here's a chart where it led to self-destruction. The 4 planets in Gemini, even though there were 3 of them are good, the Mars is bad. Mars in Gemini is a liar, right? It's either it's great for a lawyer, actually. Mars in Gemini makes an excellent debater, and it makes a person who it either makes a person who's a liar or somebody who can reveal the lies of others. In his case, it was a little of both, and he got caught by lying, right? Because of that bad Mars over there in the 12th house that hurt him. And with the Gemini, not so good. The Gemini Sun, over pride, over this. And so the moon there was very close to the Jupiter also, and he was I guess he was too open about what he was doing, and he got caught. And if you look at his chart, he actually also has the Saturn and Neptune in the 4th house, in the home, exactly conjunct. So he had deep-seated problems to this man, even though he's so brilliant and successful. He grew up very, very a place that did not give him a secure future, right? Saturn, Neptune exactly conjunct makes the neurotic, and I guess he had deep-seated neuroses, and those planets would actually square his Uranus and his ascendant, and it had trouble to his life. Anyway, I thank everybody for listening, and I hope they enjoyed the class.